Hi there, and welcome back to another Delphox Cards. Tonight I'm doing something a little different. As you can see, I showed in my Nerd Lair tour, just some little hangers that I have in the room here. But I'm going to be doing my comic book collection. Now, I've dwindled this down. I am by no means a comic aficionado, and actually most of these comics I haven't even had a chance to read yet. I read a lot of comics on my phone through the Marvel Unlimited app, and then I got really into like Batman comics that I read in person a lot, but a lot of my Marvel ones I haven't sat down and read yet. I'm just going to show them to you now. Okay, I hope that there isn't some huge comic book fans that watch this and are like, wow, how lame are you? What do you just watch the movies? A mix of both. I love the movies and the TV shows and everything, and I also love the comics, and so these are things I do plan on reading, and some I have read, and I'll indicate that. But let's just crack right into it here. I'll start with my singles, and I mostly collected these at like a flea market because I like the covers. So Batman the Dark Knight, part of the New 52. I almost bought a New 52 at Ollie's. This I have read. This is one of the best things I've ever read. I spent $15 on this at a local show called Collectorbelia in Green Bay. A Batman Captain America crossover. This was really fun. And then both sidekicks. It was Robin and Bucky. Not the Bucky we know from the movies. That helped them out. Really, really fun story there. We've got Guerrilla Warfare. I love Gorilla Grodd. So I just picked this up on the basis of that I love Gorilla Grodd. Silver Surfer. A Silver Surfer comic. Kind of an older one. I think, does it say the year 1992? I love 90. Is that 82? 92. Yeah, I like 90s. I like the 90s style of Marvel Comics. Here we've got Captain America and the Falcon. The Mighty Thor. The Marvel Superheroes Fall Special. I like this one a lot. Oh, there goes my washer. Some interest. Speedball is one where his figure is at Ollie's, and I'm like, man, I wonder if I read this if I'm going to want to pick that up. But an 80-page special there. This is a really fun one I've read. Spider-Man teaming up with the X-Men, two of my all-time favorites right here. Probably my two favorite Marvel heroes on the same cover. But that was a fun story. I like anything to do with the Hobgoblin. So really, really enjoy any Spider-Man story that deals with him. I've read that one too. It was very good. Have not read this one, but the cover's really cool. So The Secret Defenders. It's just a really cool cover. I should read it. Wouldn't take me very long, but Hulk, Peter Parker, Spider-Man featuring the Hulk. Very cool. And again, I like those, kind of that 90s Spider-Man aesthetic. The Parker years, another Hobgoblin. I had gone into my comic shop and I said, what do you got for Hobgoblin stories? And so they tossed me anything with him on it. And I did read them. I really like that. This is just Spider-Man First Blood. You're going to find out really quick that I love Spider-Man. With Carnage. Maximum Carnage begins here. That's a cool one. Absolute Carnage. I really love Bishop. That is just a fire cover. But love Bishop. And we've got Captain America, the Symbol of Truth. I got this one for free in a little grab bag thing. So there's the first stack. Let's go on to stack number 2 of the singles. This one I got free. Just a little Venom story with Kang on the cover. The Avengers with Taskmaster. This was a free, or $1 at my local comic book shop. I'd say local, it's in Green Bay, about an hour away. Cyclops and the Phoenix. Got that one with Sinister, which is great. Got that one for free. This one was $1 at a flea market, but I love Bishop, and I actually like Colossus as well. Any X-Men really. So This one I really love. All of the heroes is Grodd. Martian Manhunter story, which is really cool. I love Martian Manhunter for DC. This is actually a signed copy of a Batman comic signed by the author. So I picked this up for $5 at my comic book shop. I haven't read it. I usually like to use this for display. Really cool cover. Another signed one here. Legends of the Dark Knight. One I like to put up in the nerd lair from time to time here. And another signed one. And plus I love Green Arrow. My wife and I love that show. And this one's signed in by multiple people. Right here. And no, I don't know the authors really well. Just it was $5 for a signed copy of the comic, and I thought, hey, why not? Love The Mandalorian. Picked this up for $1. Gonna have to give that a read pretty soon. Big Spawn fan. This is a reprint of the first Spawn for $1. I got it, but I love Spawn. Want more of his comics. I went on a spree of just loving on comics from Star Wars. I actually read the entire Darth Vader series on the app, and this is one of those, but I love the cover. This one cost me a little bit more, but I really enjoy the cover of this one. Haven't read it yet. Won't even lie. Another Star Wars one. Not too much to comment. I like these Dark Horse Star Wars a lot before they went Marvel. I just like the art on those. I want to find the Star Wars based on the Timothy Zahn novels. I was reading those this summer, and they're very good. If you haven't read Timothy Zahn's original Thrawn trilogy, and I guess his new one's good too, so do that as well. Very cool Vader cover here. Dark Visions. Then I would recommend very good Chewie and Vader. I mean, yeah, two of my favorite characters from the original trilogy, and a little fight there, and you don't see that in the movies. I just thought that cover was cool, so I picked it up for $1. Most of these are $1. I have very few comics that I actually sprung for. And that, again, I guess that's a Marvel cover, but that is a really neat, could be a puzzle. Okay, next one we've got here is another Vader. Vader in IG-88. This one I got in a pack. A Green Arrow comic. Flash comic that I got, again, with Gorilla Grodd on it, Captain Cold. Got that in a pack from Walmart. I love Batman Beyond. Still got the pop from last night. There he is. So I really like the show. I really want to rewatch it because I watched it as a kid and I don't remember a ton of it, but I remember loving it, so I got to rewatch it. Funeral for a Friend. That's just a really neat cover with a lot of recognizable faces. Another Superman. I got this lot of Superman ones at a flea market for, I don't know, $7 or $8 with a bunch of Batman. So I took them and I kept them. Deathstroke. Like I said, I already got rid of some too. I'm going to be selling, so really cool Superman here. It's kind of backwards, but it's cool. This Superman is really neat. The Toy Man plays for keeps. That's a cool villain there. We've got another Amazing Spider-Man. This one, this is one of the dollar pickups, I think, that I picked up. Yeah, it was a reprint. This one's really fun. I read this story. Anything with Cap, Spidey, I love. Cap, Thor, Cyclops, Spider-Man. These I just got at Ollie's last time I went. It's a couple Overwatch singles. A couple Ana, if you know the game. Then we got a Rhine. And then we got a Torbjorn. And yes, I've read these. I'll explain how in a second. I already read those already. Not those specifically, but in a different format. I love anything to do with Scarlet Spider. Very cool story. If you don't know him, go check him out. He's my favorite adaptation of Spider-Man. Any of his covers are cool. This is just a really sick Moon Knight cover, and I got really heavy into Moon Knight comics before the show came out, and then the show disappointed me. I think I mentioned that on here before. I did spend a little on this. This is a cool story. $5 on a couple Spider-Man comics. These are really fun. From Image Comics, so a little bit different than what we're used to, but I really enjoyed both of these. Popped them back into the bag. We've got, again, another Scarlet Spider. What if Captain America were revived today? Well, we saw that in show form. That's a really cool Wolverine there. I love Thor, and I love Thor in the movies, and I love like his comic look. The comics are not for me. The style in which he is written is so tough for me to follow along and enjoy, so I don't love. This is the official handbook. I thought this was cool from 1983. I just love Luke Cage, so some other people on the back here. But that's a fun one. Revenge of the Green Goblin, just a kind of a haunting cover there. This one is signed by the author again, right there. Spider-Man, another $5 issue. I love the Armor Wars Iron Man suits, and I just think he looks cool, so I like this one for $1. Another Spider-Man. So essentially, Powers Comics in Green Bay, they just, like, probably like any comic shop, they just have rows and rows of, like, dollar comics. And I sift through there and I go, hey, would that be something I would toss up in a display? And I'll pick it up, maybe read it. I love Cable, especially Fathers and Sons. That one's a really cool one. I don't know for a fact, but I think I heard that this is an inspiration for 97. So, but I might be totally wrong on that. That could just be fake news. Another Cable. Fathers and Sons Part 3, that was Part 2. But I love that. Got that at the Father and Sons Part 1. Okay, I do have 1, 2, 3. Mr. Sinister. Love him as a villain. I have his figure. Spider-Man and Vision. A team up. Another team up. Spider-Man and Falcon. I think you're sensing a theme here. And Spider-Man and Thor. So those are cool singles as well. We'll pop those down almost to my thicker ones. So Captain America here. Another Hobgoblin. I paid a little bit more for that one because I love Hobgoblin. That one too. Sweet cover. Hobgoblin Lives. The Hobgoblin Lives. So those are the singles in all of their glory. The singles. All right, next we get into some stuff this is just a really cool book. I'll just show it quick. Marvel Universe. Got this for a few bucks. I have definitely read through this. This is just fun to read about different aspects of the Marvel Universe. Kind of get some info. And then, you sound a little smarter when you talk about it. I just got this at Ollie's, little Captain Phasma, very underused character in Star Wars, so really enjoyed that. And I got this one. I talk about God, God bless at the end of every one of my videos, but I thought this is a cool, The Life of Jesus in a graphic novel for comic book fans. So excited to peel into this one when I have a little more time, especially in the summer as a teacher. I got this at Mojo's in Green Bay, the Batman 1989 movie adaptation. This was a fun read. To go through that and look at it in comic book form was really fun. So that was really neat. And I talked about before how I had the Overwatch stories read already. I read this a couple times now. I love the stories in here. I am all about the Overwatch lore. And so I always wish they'd make a Netflix show about it. I really think it lends itself. You guys know me already. I'm a big Turtle fan and Batman, so this is a really fun book. Batman and the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, the comic crossover there. These are amazing. The last Ronin series, if you like Turtles at all, and you're like, maybe growing up a little bit, and I still love the Turtle shows, but this is more of a kind of adult take on the Ninja Turtles post some of the brothers dying. So yeah, it's a little more serious. My favorite comics of all time, right here, in Marvel. This would be Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. The art is amazing. The stories are amazing. I love the darkness in the Todd McFarlane Spider-Mans. I have to read, this is the sequel to The Dark Knight Returns, and I loved The Dark Knight Returns. A lot of people don't like the Frank Miller take. I loved it. Have all the McFarlanes. So, want to read this really bad. Just picked this up not too long ago, probably about a half year ago. Batman and Spawn. Again, another Batman crossover that I am all about, especially Todd McFarlane. Anything? Batman: The Death of the Family, which is a very highly talked about book, and excited to read that one. Got that from Half Price Books. We got The Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade, which is really cool. The Bat Who Laughs. Got this at Walmart. Read a decent amount of it. Need to finish it. Really creepy. If you're into like the Dark Knight metal stuff, it's creepy, but it's fun. This story is literally amazing. The Batman Hush, just like at every turn, you're like, what's gonna happen? Who's Hush? What's going on? Would recommend Batman Hush. That was the complete story there. Again, my favorite Batman comic, favorite DC comic of all time. This is an amazing story, and it had me at the edge of my seat. Actually, when my daughter was a baby, she'd love listening to me read this out loud. I love the Age of Apocalypse, and no, I'm not going to pretend I've read all of these yet. I got them for like $2 a piece at an antique mall. So Age of Apocalypse, get another Age of Apocalypse here, but I've read quite a bit of Age of Apocalypse on the app, just not these in their entirety, which I do need to. It's on the list. But love the Age of Apocalypse stuff. And very much, I mean, it's just a tall task to be able to commit to right now. But this one I just got at an antique mall. I think it was like $5 for a hardcover Avengers. I don't have too much for the Avengers. There's a reason for that. I like the Avengers, but their comics like aren't my favorite. I got this for cheap at a Mojo's, so just kind of want to read that one someday. Just a little Batman story. This one I love to death. This was fun. The X-Men 92 comic. I probably spent like $15 on that. 15, 16 bucks, but I love that one. That's one of my favorite in my whole collection. I've talked about already, my wife and I being into The Flash. So I got that one. This one's cool. I did read these, a Batman 3 Jokers. This Flash shoot, the covers are amazing. They're quick little reads, but really kind of intense covers there. Fun little Batman story. These I just picked up at Walmart. Mostly for like my kids someday. Some cool, but again, Gorilla Grodd. Those are some cool ones. Another one for my son to page through when he's a little older. Again, this was a cheap one I got. Don't remember how I got that one. I didn't spend a whole lot on it, though, is what I remember. So I'll search for She-Hulk. Got this for $1 at Collectorbelia. And you know me at the Hobgoblin. Big old Hobgoblin story. A New 52 Justice League. This is a fun one. I did read this one. I was really into DC at the time. It's a fun little story. And then Batman Under the Red Hood is another one of those, like, you have to read it once. So on my list, this is just what I've read to get after. But during the school year here, it's so tough. I only get a couple hours at home, so no excuses, man. Get on it. Start reading. That's my little comic book collection. Last little book I just picked up at Ollie's. Showed it already on the channel, but this cool Captain America guide for $6. So, all right. It's already been a long video, so thanks for taking a peek at my comics with me. As always, may the Lord bless you, and have a good one.